Hello and welcome to episode 249. Yes, we skipped a week, but we are back and better than ever of the Veeam Community Recap. I am Rick Vanover, the Rickatron, joining you at 7:00 in the morning West Coast time. Joined with my co-host, Madalena. How you doing, Maddie?
Hello, Rick, and hello, community. Yeah, I'm doing great. We are doing this a little bit later than normal. And it's a little bit almost dark outside, but hey, for the community, anything. Yeah, we just got back from Paris and Antwerp, and we're gonna share with you some stuff at the end of this recap. So other than that, just looking forward to share some great content. We skipped last week for good reasons. We had a busy week in Paris and Antwerp. We were on the way most of the time, but we have really great plans for the community this year. So we're gonna share it, not today everything, but we're gonna share it step by step. Other than that, nothing, Rick. And you are again in a hotel room.
Again, in a hotel room. Yes, I'm out working on another big thing. I'm out in California this week at our security AI offices. We're doing our broad VMON planning. So the big experience, a lot of people have been asking about that, Maddie. What's it going to be different? Where's how do I go there? Is it, I got to be careful because we haven't announced it yet, but here's what I will say. We're making some improvements to VMON. Some people call it a change. I'm going to call it an improvement. It's going to be a much more exclusive experience. And there still will, of course, will be an online experience. And there still will, of course, be VMON tours. But there will be an additional set of experiences that will have information up on the web page very, very soon about. But that's my week is working on VMON. And I think we better jump into the content or else I'll start telling all the secrets. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm gonna just mention that we are not breaking the rule, even though we skipped the week. So,
That's
but
true.
we do
That's
have
true.
some great, really great content for the week.
I wanted to break a different rule, and as we go in there, I'll tell you about that. So let's jump in. All right, one screen. That's what you're seeing. All right. First up, Jonah May, and I've been calling his name a lot this week. Two things. One, when he had this also on his personal blog, I had suggested we break the rule for the Vanguard blog spotlight, but you had said we already got it. So this caught my eye as well. Maddie, integrating VBR with the Home Assistant. This is pretty cool stuff.
Oh yeah, totally. I think this is a great initiative. I actually had a call yesterday with Jonah and Maurice. Well, we kind of discussed more like hackathon things and what we want to do in 2026. So let's see the direction of that. But we actually touch base this project as well. So basically, this is a community project that connects Veeam Backup and Replication with Home Assistant. And it turns backup data into live sensors controls inside a single dashboard. And the idea is to create something similar from what I understood from yesterday discussion for Veeam 1, M365. And I do think if you're going to check it in the automation desk, I think there is already one article about M365. So I think they might have done already something in that direction. And they mentioned some future plans with few other partners, but I'm not going to spoil on that. So this project is not going to stop here. But for this specific one, I think, yeah, the idea is to pull information directly from the Veeam REST API to show things like backup job status and schedules, repository health and capacity, license and server information. And on top of monitoring, it also kind of lets user trigger actions like rescanning repositories or starting and stopping jobs, all from Home Assistant. And the goal is simple: bring backup visibility into the same place people already monitor the rest of their infrastructure. And why is this project so cool? And I'm looking forward to see the development of it. I heard from Jonah that it was very successful within the community. He had like a bunch of people already checking on this one, so that's great. But instead of building another heavy monitoring stack, it meets users where they are already, and especially the home lab and automation fans who live in Home Assistant every day. It's still early, but the concept is really powerful, I think. It gives quick visibility and easy automations, real control over backups in one dashboard. And, this is really a great example of how our community keeps extending Veeam in very creative and, real world ways, beyond, of course, the traditional enterprise tools that, Veeam is building. So yeah, all I can say is just great job, both Jonah and Maurice, because I know he contributed as well with this, and really looking forward to see where all this leads.
Yeah, I think this is fantastic, Jonah. Love it. Pushing the limits, connecting the dots. This is really cool stuff. And definitely check it out there on GitHub. And a hat tip to Maurice as well. Yeah, next up, we're going to go to Esteban with a great highlight of a new capability of the calculators, the scenario builders. This is really cool.
Yeah, our friend from Argentina, Esteban. Saludos, Esteban. Espero que nos vemos pronto. A little bit of Spanish. Yeah, he talks about the Veeam's new scenario builder and how this changes the way environments are sized. And, previously, as he says in their sizing, Veeam deployments has really been based more on like past experience and rough estimates and spreadsheets, especially when dealing with a multi-site or more complex architecture. So the scenario builder now introduces like a more structured approach by allowing users to model the real world workloads and then the data volumes and the site to site relationships. And instead of making assumptions, now you can actually simulate how an environment will behave and generate a more clear path for you, more predictable design. And obviously, the end result would be a sizing plan that's repeatable, easier to justify, much closer to real production needs. And why is this important? Well, I think it's, as he says, and the title says this is a game changer because sizing is one of those areas where a small mistake can turn into big performance or cost issues later. So, by turning sizing into a scenario-based process, Veeam is actually helping customers design this with more confidence. Um, and yeah, it's just more predictable, right? And you have less surprises once your system go live. So I think overall this is a fantastic tool, and I really like that Esteban decided to share it with us.
Yeah, I love the granularity of this walkthrough, Maddie. Look at like some of these questions because these types of things will actually impact your overall, capacity and retention. What you configure in sober, move, and copy. This stuff's all sorted out here, and then also look over here around the retention, GFS retention, right? But
Mhm.
it doesn't just stop there. It also goes into the same level of detail with like SQL databases, right? So you can even get into this type of. This is just fantastic. Thank you for the
Mhm.
really thorough walkthrough, Esteban. Muchísimas gracias para este, ¿cómo se dice?
Artículo.
Blog, artículo. Okay, gracias. There we go. I can drop a little bit of Espanol too. Thank you, Esteban. All right, moving straight along. We'll keep it back in English unless we fall into our habits there. We're going to feature some content here from Marcel. He's talking about managed Windows servers in Veeam 13 without a service account. Ooh, interesting one.
Interesting. Yeah, indeed. So Marcel, in this case, he actually walks us through a new option in Veeam V13 that allows you to add a Windows server as a backup component using a deployment kit and certificate-based connection instead of actually relying on the traditional service account credentials. And then the process is actually pulled directly from Veeam KV and shows how to, and that I think he shared the link in there. You can see the KB he's referring to as well. Basically what it shows is how to download the deployment kit from the Veeam console, install it locally on the Windows server using PowerShell, automatically register the server using certificates, and once completed, the Windows server becomes a managed component in the Veeam environment, and that doesn't need the service accounts for the ongoing authentication. And the key benefit, obviously, is a simpler, more secure way to connect Windows-based components into the Veeam infrastructure. And why is this super cool? Because sometimes service accounts, or if not always, are often really painful to maintain because passwords expire and permissions drift, audits get messy. So using certificate-based deployment makes onboarding servers much faster and cleaner and more secure, and it's going to also keep things consistent with how Veeam appliances already connect. So this is just a small change if you think about, but can make a big difference in someone's day-to-day operations if you work with that. So overall, I think this is a really fantastic change in here, and thank you, Marcel, for sharing it with us.
Yeah, indeed. In fact, a lot of people know that we've done certificate authentication for Linux for a while. And so really bringing that experience over to Windows is kind of also another way to look at it. But thank you so much, Marcel. Good to call your name again. All right, that concludes our featured content. Now we go over to Vanguard Blog Spotlight, and back on the spotlight is Ben Harmer talking about part one, and he made a promise of a part two of migrating to the Veeam software appliance. And I really want to highlight, Madi, he covers everything that you need to do to prepare for the migration, and this is a great topic.
I agree. And some people might say, like, you always choose Ben's articles to mention it in the VBS, Why don't you choose mine? Well, because I really like how he writes. I think he's doing a great job. So keep on doing what you're doing, Ben. But yeah, awesome sharing in here. This seems to be, as you said, part one of the two blogs series that he's gonna share later on. And this one, it focuses well, actually the whole thing is going to focus on migrating a Veeam backup and replication environment toward the new Veeam software appliance. And since there's currently no direct path from V12 to the VSA, the first step is upgrading an existing Windows-based VBR server to V13. And he's basically, Ben is taking us through all the steps, key pre-upgrade checks and planning consideration, deprecated features to watch out for, port changes in V13, upgrading related components like Veeam 1, of course, running through the full in-place upgrade process safely. And here there's one interesting thing is the Veeam 1's move toward the PostgreSQL-based reporting database. This way, it's going to reduce the dependency on the SQL server, and it's going to hint at more Linux-based components in the future. And as he said in part two, I think we're going to be able to actually see the migration from Windows to the VSA on Linux. And the takeaway in here, I think, is, migrations are very rarely just a single click as we know it. And this actually shows, step by step how to get ready, exactly what you said, like the planning, the cleanup, the dependency checks. And it's a really good reminder that, solid preparation is what actually makes upgrades smoother. And I think this type of content is really valuable for anyone planning their V13 journey, but in general, like if you plan an upgrade. So great job as always, Ben. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, and this is great. It does walk you through all the steps that you need to be prepared for a VSA migration. And we do have to have the Windows components on this 1301.180. And then you're basically a candidate to do the migration. And then he's talking here about the actual, you can sign up to get contacted for this. I can tell you, we have done some of the migrations. Like, for example, we actually picked, I think I mentioned this before, my home lab, because it's one of the oldest ones out there. And it migrated it. Mine went back to version 4, and it's been upgraded and migrated to new installs since version 4, and it worked. But now we've got a couple of, let's just say, names that we know. We're going to be doing the migration there too. So it's going to get scaled out here this year. So good stuff, Ben, to get everybody prepped for the migration.
Yeah.
And it's a choice. One thing I'll say, it's not going to be forced. It's going to be an option. A lot of people want the Linux-based Veeam software appliance, but
I mean,
it'll be an option. Won't be required.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It's always an option.
All right, now into special department news. We have 5 things to cover. Yes, you're seeing right. There are 4 tabs, but we have 5 things to cover. Let's go first over to Turkey. Next week, they have a Veeam user group meeting online. And, well, look at this. According to my time zone, I'm not booked, Maddie. I should join.
And you usually awake at weird times. So who knows?
Possibly.
Yeah. But yeah, this is actually the first VUG Turkey virtual event of the year. So talking about VSA, I think this is going to be interesting. We're going to have our 2 leaders, Kenan and Tariq, together with Bulent, who works for Veeam. And they're going to discuss all kind of things, as in the description as well. They have some 4 bullet points in there if you want to know exactly what they're going to go over. So the VSA architecture, the built-in security, some innovations, and then you're going to have a live demo as well. So I think this is going to be good. I'm going to attend it, since I'm going to open up the meeting. So looking forward to it, even though I don't understand Turkish. But
so you're going to open it in English, and then they'll take over with the content in Turkish.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, thanks.
Always, yeah. So looking forward to it. That's great. Looking forward to see an in-person event this year from Turkey as well. We are working on that. So if you haven't registered, though, for this one, you still have time. I think there is good number there. I think we have over 20 people that registered already, so that's fantastic. But if you haven't registered, if you speak Turkish, you understand Turkish, and you're interested in VSA, this is the show for you. And yeah, let's do it.
Yep, on most of these I do translate it to English, but as you said, this one will be in Turkish. Thank you, Kenan. Thank you, Tariq, and thank you, Bulent. We look forward to this. Next up, also translated to English, Brazil never let us down. Always was something on the 26th, later in this month. Oh, a very kind of AWS-focused piece of content with, let's see if I can get this right, Jan, Andre, Joachim, and Wesley.
Yeah, our awesome community from Brazil, part of it at least, because we still have some other leaders that are going to probably participate in another virtual event. But I think this is cool. I think it's going to be led by Jean, because he was telling us a few weeks ago that he had the home lab and he has everything prepared and he's excited about this one. So I think if you are interested in learning AWS, cloud, and all that, I think this is the place for you. And of course, you should understand Portuguese, because this show is going to be in Portuguese. And this looks like a more decent time for you, Rip. So maybe you're going to join it.
Yeah, I will be home. There is a chance. There is a chance.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jean, Andre, Joachim, and Wesley. And I apologize if I messed up any of those names. All right, next up, also, this is really exciting. We are happy. Forgot to do it. Let's translate that to English. We're happy to announce an additional Veeam user group, Panama.
Yeah, we have this new group. We've been working with our new leader in Panama, Arnulfo. If you are in Panama and you are one of our clients or partners, you are definitely welcome to join this one. If you want to connect with other users from your country and exchange experience, ask questions in Spanish. This is a Spanish one, even though Rick translated it. Here you can stay update on the latest Veeam updates, trends, best practices. It's just started. We just made it public, so that's why you only have a welcome post for now. The Veeam Beam is Arnulfo, and we are getting ready one VUG Panama virtual event where I think it's going to come maybe March. So where he's going to introduce himself and the plans that he has for 2026. He's going to also work with one of the systems engineers in the area. So I think that's going to be exciting, and really looking forward to make it successful like other groups that we started and we are growing it. And definitely looking forward to expand in Latin America, because I think we have a great community there. So yeah, VUG Panama is just one of those groups that are going to come with the hub. Great
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Welcome.
indeed. Thank you, Arnolfo. And for those of you around the world, if you click on groups here now, it might look a little bit different because I'm logged in as me, but you can go in just the different major theaters, right, as well as the thematic groups. Czech, Netherlands, UK, Canada, Germany, USA. Just a couple of them out there. So you're welcome to join these. Find a group near you. So thank you, Arnolfo, and welcome VUG Panama. All right, last up, Jan again. Looks like he's got a little bit of show and tell here.
Indeed. So basically, he finally got his present. I don't know if you guys remember, but Jean was the winner of the Veeam 100 Summit blog contest. So we prepared a prize for him, a Raspberry Pi and a T-shirt with Veeam community. So he finally got it. He did like a post in here, and he has also a YouTube in there. I think that's a YouTube. That's, if I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah. Well,
mistaken.
I'm
Um,
pretty brave, but clicking a video without knowing what it'll be. So let's see what happens.
yeah.
He's
I-
hi, thank you. Yeah, that's cool. He's going to do an unboxing. That's cool.
Yeah, I think that's what he's doing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jean, for sharing that with us and with the larger community. That's fantastic. And
Look at
congratulations
him.
once again.
Yeah, nice, nice. That's cool. So congrats, Jan, and thanks for doing the unboxing as a YouTube. That's pretty cool. All right, let's see if I can do it. I got something special. Now we got a little bit of show and tell from last week. The community team and part of our technologist team, we were gathered in Paris to really set the community plans for the year. Was this you taking this picture over here,
Oh,
Maddie?
yes.
Was that you?
I love
That's
that picture.
cool.
Isn't it great? It's like with sunset. We were going to the
Yeah,
office, and it's the four of you. There is
yeah,
Kirsten, Sophia, Edwin, and yourself.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love that picture.
Yeah,
So,
that was a weird morning. It was kind of sunny, kind of clear, and it just had rained, so it had a nice look to it. Yes, but we did a lot of time in a little room
yeah.
to do a lot of work for the year, and then we had a little bit of fun, and then you mentioned we went down to Antwerp, a really solid community event, MC2MC. That was actually a lot of fun.
Oh, yes. I always love going. This is my second time, and last year it was their first big event. They do some sort of like Vim user groups the way we are doing it, but theirs are bigger because they build it throughout the years. They've been doing that for a long time now. And indeed, it is a solid Microsoft event, community event, and this was as I said, my second time. I feel like this was full house.
Hmm.
That's Wim, one of the organizers. We've been working with him, and it's fantastic. It was great to see him. Thank you, Wim, for everything. That's our DBA Vanguard. Always great to see him, and that's the audience. And on the previous one, there is a picture with me and two guys. Those are Paolo's our Vanguard colleagues. So they were like, last year they took a picture with me, and this year they were like, we need a tradition. Let's take another picture together. So send it to Paolo. So fantastic. And you had a session, Rick. Tell us about it.
Yeah. We had a session talking about some cyber security advice. It was solid, full room. It was really well done. Good production quality there. And, it was really interesting because Edwin and I brought a different topic because it was so much Microsoft practitioner focused. But I'm like, hey, never forget these ransomware threats. And these are things that you may not have known about. So some advice there. But really solid community. And then DDA, one of the Veeam Vanguards, is also on the crew for MC2MC, along with Wim and maybe 10 or so others. They had a pretty good setup. Actually, pretty good lunch, pretty good snacks, too. That's always a plus for me. So thank you all, MC2MC crew. One screen, as always. See if I can fix it. There we go. But yeah, we had lots to cover here this week, Maddie. So I'm glad we got it all in.
Yeah. Are you going to be on the road again next week?
No, thank goodness. I will be home next week. I get 2 weeks in a row at home, which is great.
That's amazing. Yeah, I can imagine. Good stuff.
Let's see. Well, Maddie, as always, thank you so much for curating all the content.
As always, my pleasure. Always a good way to keep updated on all the good stuff that are shared in the community.
And I'll do my best to kind of share what I can next week about Veeam. So we got, there's some decisions that we're making here today and this week and such, but I'll see what I can share. Maybe even get in trouble a little. You never know. All right, everyone. That's it for now. We'll see you next week on 250. Have a great weekend, everyone.